Okay, so when I say there's a lot more to the AIMWARE story than we originally had thought, there is. I just had about an hour-long conversation with Pollack, and I'm going to drop some truth here, and I'm going to drop his side of the story. If you want to know how this came about, I took the opportunity to tweet at GExtend, Pollack's new site, and ask him for kind of an interview just to get some stories straight, because there was a lot of stuff going around saying that this AIMWARE was a rat. I can almost confidently tell you you're absolutely safe using it as long as you're getting it from the actual source. And I just want to say that this morning when I woke up, I wasn't expecting to get a response until I saw this. Let's hop into today's video.
Hard drive loaded up, lost, double encoded, what? Zip up all your
The intro of this video is sponsored by Sell Your Skins. If you guys are looking for a fast way to make money off of your in-game skins, make sure to check them out in the first link in the description. Not only are they super user-friendly, they also offer multiple payment methods on checkout, as well as a leveling system to earn you more bonuses the more you sell. They've also sponsored this video to let you guys know that you can use code TABS on checkout to earn a bonus of 3% when you sell your skins. Check them out, first link in the description. Before I start going in on our conversation that we had, I do have to preface that I am, out of the respect of his wishes, blurring his Discord account and changing his profile picture completely on the screenshots that you'll be able to see as I go through them. But out of just full respect to him, I want to say thank you for coming out and making some of this stuff right, because a lot of people had a lot of questions. And we are going to be going over some pretty serious stuff that occurred here as well. So I just want to say, don't witch hunt Pollack's account. It's kind of sus. And honestly, some of the stuff that he's doing here to make things right for some of the AIMWARE users that were affected by this, he doesn't have to do. And honestly, he deserves a lot of respect for it. So let's hop into it. So originally, I got a message on Twitter saying that he was willing to answer some questions. Again, at the start, I didn't know if this was Pollack or someone he was working with. I then later found out that GExtend is a one-man product and a one-man site. It's literally all Pollack, no one else. So the first message I received was, hey, it's kind of a long story to wrap, so maybe we can do a Q&A by writing maybe. I read some important questions some people had about the leak, and I'd like to start off by saying that the leak was fully clean. The build was the live version and not the dev version. Only the loader was the developer version used internally, which was also stripped a little. So again, it wasn't the developer version of the cheat that was leaked. It was a little bit of a stripped developer loader, as well as the live version that AIMWARE currently sells is the one that was leaked. I then proceeded to ask if it was okay if I just gave him a fast couple round of questions, because I had already pre-written a bunch of questions, hoping that he would eventually reply a couple days ago. And we went along and asked those. He goes, yep. And I say, all right, so just to start out, why did Pollack do this if it was indeed just him? Again, at this point in time, I don't know I'm actually talking to Pollack. I thought it was someone else, like somebody that he was working with, an associate, etc. He replies back and said that there was two main problems, money and the actual coding part. I replied back by saying I heard rumors he was fed up doing the work of 4 people, essentially, if that's what you mean by the coding part. If it's not a lot to explain, I really don't mind doing a call. I can change your voice, etc. I have no issue regarding your privacy. Again, calls would have just made this easier, so I didn't have to do this voiceover explaining, but at the end of the day, we still got answers, and that's all that matters. Pollack then goes to explain that it was a bit more complicated, as they had a static structure. Each one of them was paid the same amount, and after a while, the problem arrived when everyone didn't commit the same amount of work that they agreed to, but they all split the money with. Zim, as the manager, didn't try to fix this. He enabled it, and that was fine for a while, as long as at least one of us took care of the cheat. Obviously, we didn't achieve as much due to this being a pay-to-cheat, considering that after 9 years, we still mostly profited from the CSGO cheat, even though there was several attempts to other cheats, which mostly ended up being shelved due to lack of commitment for reasons he states above. This is the coding part. Let me write off the money one, which is a bit shorter. He then goes to say, also related to this one, and he sends a photo, which I'll put on screen. He says you can find the GitHub insights of the Charge of 2022 when version 5.1 was developed, and the claims were made by the Swiss Guy staff and a beta member. And what he's talking about here is actually a post that was made on the CSGO Hacks Reddit, where somebody says Pollack was the main developer behind AIMWARE. Without Pollack, there is no AIMWARE. Someone else comments that's not actually true. He only liked to post update logs, which led everyone to make him think that he was the main dev. Swiss Guy and Batster worked on it as well. There was a whole bunch of commenting that you can see on the screen made about it, but the main one here is the ending to this, where somebody brings up Pollack being sued. So as we can see here in the screenshot, Cotter Poe, will you DMCA/sue his site if it uses AIMWARE code? Swiss Guy goes along and says, among other related reasons, which I shouldn't concern anyone, that's the plan. Cotter Poe says, oof, and he says, and there are other variables in place. This is, from what I understand, a moderator saying that it is AIMWARE's right, I guess, or AIMWARE's plan is to sue him. And then if you scroll down, we can see the version 5.1 dev timeline, where you can see that there was over 1,000 commits by Pollack. There was 187 by Badster and 88 by Alfred. So I just want to say that, like, in my eyes, Pollack did most of the work. I'm not dick riding. It's just, you look at the numbers and the numbers don't lie. He did most of the work. Whether or not it was good of him to leak it, probably not. But at the end of the day, he did it, and he does realize that he affected AIMWARE users, and we'll get more into that shortly. He then went on to say in the screenshot, which lines of code will you sue for exactly, just showing that there's very minimal from anyone else going on. Just out of curiosity, I said, would it be safe to assume that AIMWARE was involved in the PL site going down for a short time? He then later replied, yes, it was DDoSed heavily, still is, which is interesting. But when he went into the money part, this is where things got a little interesting to me, because I got to see the structure of AIMWARE. So we can see here, he says, now to get into the money part, ultimately, this started being the worst in the past 2 years. And I would call this bad on Zim's side. In 2020, almost no one worked on the cheat, so I decided to as well not put as much effort or care into it. So I decided to as well not put as much care for it, because I was going nowhere with such team. In 2021, he withheld my salary and dividend, which that's fucking horrible. For 2021, Swizguy and Badster started to work a bit more than usual when I was kicked. Then the results were not really exciting. Due to the lack of applying themselves for the project in the previous years, we were also almost fully cracked for the V5 version. This protection was slightly outdated at that point and needed heavy uplifts. When I joined back in 2022, Swissguy completely stopped working on the project again. I don't know if it was for personal, but it remained till the end of 2022, basically. Another problem was that I haven't received my dividend as a shareholder of the 2022 year, and I was asked about financial records to Zim. The financial records should be fully open to shareholders according to law, and it's illegal to withhold them from other shareholders. He ignored it, and he never sent them to me for months. For 2023 January, I wasn't paid, which I was expecting. We didn't come to an agreement where I wanted to discuss better ways to organize ourselves as a team, so we didn't end up working unfairly when someone doesn't care. This is not directed to AIMWARE customers, of course. This is just me leaving the toxic environment, basically a sinking boat. I can't talk shareholders over, since I don't own more than 51% of the shares, but I will be working towards a free subscription for AIMWARE lifetime users that are manually verified once the site goes online, which I guess seems fair. The fact he's giving those people that get manually verified once again access to be able to use this cheat on the lifetime subscription is really good. The fact that he doesn't have to do this, this is his own work. This is him trying to make something for himself and get out of a toxic environment, giving away stuff for free, which is basically just giving away his hard-earned money, even though he hasn't been paid in a certain amount of time. Meaning some of you, like lifetime AIMWARE users that are using his product, he hasn't received any money for the fact that you're getting to use it. So this just, I don't know Pollack personally. But by default, this just seems like a good guy. And this is where I said to confirm, just because of the way you've typed this, who exactly am I speaking to? And also it's no problem. I do it a lot, because he had said that he had made a typo and he just needed to correct it. He then told me Pollack, and I said, this makes it much more easier. I assumed I was, because of the name on your Discord, I was talking to an associate of yours. And he goes, no, I just don't use Discord often. So I said after that, so was all this your own doing without help regarding the site and the leak? And he goes, AIMWARE.pl leaks? Yes. And also GExtend is my personal one-man project. And that was something that I was going to ask as well. So it's pretty cool to see that this is something he's working on, and the absolute proof of his work and all of the thanks that he gets for it and the reprimands that he gets for it are going to be his own work, so he doesn't have to split that with other coders that are being praised for it, even though they're not working as hard. I then went on to say, for you guys specifically, not that it mattered, I said, what exactly is GExtend and what can we expect from GExtend? He said, initially, I want to bring it to the same state that AIMWARE used to be in the beginning, solid cheats for games that we support without selling broken, outdated things. And he says he's also planning to support more CSGO versions and Source 2 if it comes. This is where I got interested and said, am I hearing a tease to 2018 HVH? He then replies back and says, yes, I'm interested into supporting 2016 as well. Because of the way I'm planning to structure the cheat, this should be possible without much drifting, which is really good to hear. Basically what he's saying is it should be quite easy to support multiple versions of the cheat without having one cheat get less work done to it, meaning that everything will be really solid. I replied back and said, that's awesome. Well, I'm just trying to say off the bat, it seems like you've made the right choice to extend your work in a way that will be appreciated correctly. He replies back and says, thanks. Honestly, AIMWARE could have been much more if it had 3 coders. There are 1 coder P2C supporting more stuff than we are, and it was just really bad luck and directions that things went. My really only last question is more or less any leaks on price for your coming CSGO and such, and I appreciate you taking the time to make it right for lifetime users from AIMWARE as well. Honestly, no need, but shows that you have good intentions. He just replied back and said the price will be the usual $20. He then went to go and say for lifetime AW users, it would only work for people registered before 2022-07 because he has no way to track anything after that. I'm guessing he just doesn't have any way to actually see the database. I just replied back and said, if you're literally limited to something like that, you're doing more than you should be asked. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. And I just wanted to know at the end if there was anything else he wanted to say. He said that he got most of the important stuff out. And if I had any questions later, to hit me up. And then we just went on about the me changing his profile picture on Discord and blurring his name just for his own privacy. But there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, I stayed as on his ass as I could in terms of trying to get a response from him. I wanted to make sure that the story got out there. As you guys know, AIMWARE was a huge thing for my channel originally. I started on AIMWARE and these little cheats like iCheat, and I was one of the most referred people on AIMWARE for over a year when the PUBG cheat came out, and I got banned because someone charged back, and I got banned for it. It's stupid. But anyways, that's it. The story is out. We have the correct information that we needed. We had the side that truly matters, and I will have the Twitter links to GExtend in the description below. If you guys want to support them, go give them a follow before the site launches in 2023. I do believe that they're launching March 23rd or sometime in March, but that's all I really wanted to say. I don't want to drag this on too long. My name is Tabz. If you guys have gotten your answers answered, let me know with a comment down below as well as a like, and I will see you guys on the next one. Later, bros. Peace.
Boy.